Cosmetics have been around in video games for a very long time, and they are particularly important in this day and age. They offer great ways to express yourself in any game that you play and shake things up visually, especially on subsequent playthroughs of single-player games. But when the bastards at Bethesda put armor on a horse, the option for cosmetics to be purchased with real-world money hit the table, and I don't need to be the one to tell you, it stuck around. Well, this part didn't stick around, and I think we all can agree, we wish that it did. Today, I want to take a look at the current state of cosmetics in Overwatch 2, and what I think that we can do to improve them. Before we start though, I want to get one thing out of the way. This isn't going to be about the price. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that $20 for a recolor of a skin from 2016 probably isn't worth the equivalent of all of these games. Instead, I want to take a deeper dive into the experience around cosmetics. How do you get them? How do you interact with them? And how do you show them off? Let's start with the biggest difference between Overwatch 1 and 2. Loot boxes versus the Battle Pass. Now, in the year 2024, Battle Passes are in every single video game ever and implemented in very similar ways. Battle Pass fatigue is absolutely real. I know when I start a new game, I hate seeing these things because I know it's just another game and another thing I have to juggle with the games I already play and use the Battle Passes with. But Battle Passes do provide a really nice gameplay experience. Knowing exactly what you are going to get from the Battle Pass and then giving you a goal to work towards getting them instead of just trying to hope that you roll for the thing that you want is absolutely a better system than loot boxes. And of course, Overwatch 1 had a very lenient system that basically allowed you to get anything in the game you wanted if you played enough, but that also just removed the goal of trying to level up and play the game. The Battle Pass system is a much better fit for player retention and engagement, and I think it goes with this kind of game much better than any standard loot box system, at least in terms of it being for progression. But this isn't just me defending the Battle Pass. In fact, I want to talk about how loot boxes actually handled cosmetics a lot better in my opinion. Because loot boxes were effectively the only microtransactions in the original game, making the box opening fun and exciting goes a long way with tricking you into thinking you should buy them. 15-year-old me absolutely fell for this trick and spent way too much of my very limited money on them. Because there was so much surrounding the loot box and trying to trick you into buying them, there was a lot of pomp and circumstance around the presentation of the items you got. The game spreads them out in front of you in an extremely over-the-top manner and then encourages you to take a look at them individually. You didn't know what voice line you got until you clicked on it. And then from there, it was very, very easy to equip. And of course, the skins were always the highlight, and rolling a yellow disc was very, very satisfying. It goes into that whole gambling loop. In Overwatch 1, I always knew exactly what I had and was actively encouraged to interact with all the cosmetics in the game. When I leveled up, it was a fun thing to go check out what I got in my loot box. But in Overwatch 2, even though I have bought every single battle pass and finished them all, I still don't have any voice lines equipped for any of the new heroes, I've never touched a gun charm, and I still have that goddamn pineapple pizza equipped on every single character. Seriously, what happened here? Anyway, Overwatch 2 does not present you its cosmetics in an appealing way. You have to go into the Battle Pass to claim them, which is a good first step, but once you are in there, the progress bar just kind of fills up and allows you to explore them at your own will. And it requires multiple menus to even get to the place where you can equip them. It's like it's actively trying to get you to ignore them. I really think this does a great disservice to the Battle Pass system, as the idea of granularly working towards cosmetics along the way is really diminished and super overshadowed by the skins. Nobody cares about the regular stuff on the Battle Pass because the Battle Pass does nothing to get you to care about them. I do think that there is a way that we can salvage this system though. Since the Battle Pass XP bar shows up after every match, why can't it present you with the items you just unlocked when you level it up? This can even go for any events or challenges you completed in that match as well. Make a big show of it. Show all the unlocks on the same screen like with loot boxes and give it a nice fancy new title with a little sparkle to encourage players to click on it. This is more likely to result in a lot more engagement and usage of all these cosmetics that players probably forget that they even have. Just like with loot boxes, you could skip this whole process, but it should really help enrich the experience of the people like myself who really do care about this stuff. Cosmetics are a very big part of Overwatch, and they have been from the beginning, and a lot of people like this game so much because of them. I think fixing this will make people come around to the Battle Pass system a little more, and also give them a generally favorable idea of cosmetics in Overwatch 2 in general. Because Lord knows, people love to complain about the cosmetics in this game. I mean, what the hell am I doing if not just that? From here, I want to go ahead and talk about the individual types of cosmetics and which ones I find to be the most interesting. In my opinion, there is a big divide between the quality of cosmetic types between the ones from Overwatch 1 and the new ones introduced in the sequel. Overwatch 1 of course had skins, highlight intros, victory poses, emotes, voice lines, sprays, player icons, and golden weapons. Overwatch 2 introduced name cards, player titles, souvenirs, weapon charms, mythic variants, and the new signatures, which have yet to come out at the time of writing this. I don't want this segment to come across as the old stuff was better and the new stuff is trash, I hate it, because I don't think that really, but I do think that the original idea behind the cosmetics was much stronger. The majority of Overwatch 1's cosmetics were character specific and allowed you to show off your personality through the individualized options of each character. There is a lot of care put into the skins, highlight intros, victory poses, etc. to make sure that the character's personalities shine through and are, more importantly, respected. Even when the characters say, wear, or do silly things, it's always in character and always plausible for that character to think those things. The player is allowed to express themselves with options that keep the character fantasy alive, and it's an incredibly underrated and unique element that makes Overwatch stand out in my eyes. Overwatch 2 cosmetics overall don't really hold this standard. Before I complain, credit where credit is due, name cards and player titles are separate from characters, and I find them to be great in addition to player icons on truly expressing yourself. And as a side note, please let these be visible in custom game lobby screens. I feel like this is a huge missed opportunity. Weapon charms and souvenirs really do kind of get under my skin, I can't lie. And I will say, this is my opinion, and it really isn't as serious as I'm about to make it out to be, but just let me have this one. Okay, are we ready? First of all, weapon charms completely eliminate the character-specific changes and bring too much player expression into an area where I think they shouldn't be. Not only are you allowed to put whatever charm on whatever character's weapon, it just doesn't make sense thematically for some characters to even have weapon charms in the first place. You cannot convince me that Doomfist would have a little sunflower dangling from his gauntlet because he thinks it's cute. I just don't buy it. Other FPS games, hero shooters included, have charms like this, but they are tied to changeable weapons that anyone can pick up, so I get it a little more even if I don't really care for it either way. In Overwatch though, I find it to be an overstep, and it ruins some of the uniqueness of the game just to chase a trend, and also to encourage you to buy more things in the shop when they throw them in bundles. And I know the argument here, just don't use them, forehead. Let other people have their fun, and you know what, I completely understand that. But for me, that's a whole type of cosmetic I just don't care about at all. So I get less interesting rewards overall, and when purchasing bundles, it's just more junk added to the package that I don't want. Before Overwatch 2, I never felt like there were any cosmetics I just didn't care about. And of course, souvenirs are 3D models that the characters just kind of hold above their heads. I'm not exactly mad at their inclusion, but they aren't exactly the most intensive thing to add into the game, and I don't know why I would ever replace one of the emotes with a slot for a souvenir. It just adds to the random junk that they can throw into battle passes and bundles. While we are on customizable weapons, let's talk about weapon skins. For similar reasons as above, I just don't like weapon skins. Every character's skins have their own guns for a reason. It completes the aesthetic of the skin designed by an art team. I don't feel like I should have the power to override their work to slap on a weapon that just doesn't go with the skin I'm wearing. To me, this mismatching is extremely goofy. This is different than the customizable weapons that come with mythic skins, as those are designed to go together with any of the options you pick. There is a lot of effort there to make sure it all feels natural when paired in any way. I also want to bring up the golden and jade weapons because even though I use them, I still don't like them. Up until the drive systems and signatures, these weapon variants were the only way to really show off your competitive achievements in extreme air quotes. There are also player titles that you can keep up with your current ranks, and there were player icons that let you know if you hit top 500 in a season or not, but the golden weapons were always the biggest draw in terms of permanent competitive rewards. Just because they are effectively the only thing showing off your achievements, I use golden guns. But if there were a way to show off the characters' personalities better, I would love to have that. And lucky for us, I think there is a way to do this. In the lead up to Overwatch 2's release, they showed us a new cosmetic type that never actually came to fruition: weapon inspects. These are individual stylistic animations that would fit in perfectly with showing off the characters that you think you're best at. More unique rewards to spend competitive points on that are more tailored to the individual heroes would go a long way with preserving the original idea behind Overwatch's cosmetics while still rewarding you for playing in competitive. And lots of the work on these is probably done, so there in theory shouldn't be too much difficulty in finishing out development on them. Of course, that's all conjecture, I have no idea to be honest with you, but I cannot imagine they just threw away all that work. I know that I would play a lot more competitive if there were more enticing exclusive rewards for actually playing it. Moving on from that, I want to talk about skins, particularly Recolors. I have a lot of issues with the monetization of Overwatch, but I think those larger thoughts can be saved for a later video. For now, I want to talk about how Recolors can be handled differently to make them more appealing. Recolors are an easy way for the team to pad out the lineup of skins in a season to make sure that the shop is fresh every week. They don't take away from the effort needed to make new skins, they are for the most part supplementary. Now, I think that we all can agree that it doesn't make a lot of sense to charge 20 bones for a skin that has existed in the game for 8 years, but I think there is a way to get people to buy these skins still. Odds are, if you like and own an original version of a skin, you'll probably like the Recolor at least to some extent. Why aren't the prices A, lower on average for Recolors, and B, even lower for people who already own one of the skins it's based on? I think it's way easier to sell a $5 Recolor than a $20 one. You could even sell all the like ones in a bundle together, and if you are feeling very generous, owning one version of the skin automatically could unlock the others. That's a way better deal, especially if the skin gets multiple Recolors. Sure, every average purchase made is less, but I think you'll actually make more money and drive up more sales for items that probably don't make much to begin with. And this would probably give them a lot of goodwill back, as these would no longer feel like scummy cash grabs and actually come across as what they really are, an easy alternative to a full skin to keep the shop updated. To round out this video, let's talk about some minor issues I have here and there with the cosmetics, like player icons. How can I not buy these things with coins? This has existed always in Overwatch since the day it launched, and it has bugged me so much. Like, please let me use legacy credits to get some of these things that you'll never sell to me. And in fact, player titles and name cards should also have some variants that you can just purchase with legacy credits. It feels strange that there are regular cosmetics that aren't just instantly obtainable in any form. And on the topic of unobtainable cosmetics, I really appreciate that they've brought back many of the owl skins and given a clear end date to the purchase of the coins many months in advance. But I had the owl stream on every weekend it ran for 4 years straight, and I have over 6,000 coins and also everything I would have reasonably wanted to buy. I know that they have confirmed that they will be converted to something come the end of 2025 when the shop officially closes, but I would really like something to use them on now. Perhaps the Florida Mayhem skin that still isn't out if you haven't forgotten about that yet, Blizzard, but please just let me buy some stuff. Regular credits, legacy credits, I don't care. I just want a reason to use these things. To be honest with you, I could go into so many more topics like collab skins, pricing, frequency of what characters get skins, and so on and so forth, but I don't think I really have anything that interesting to add to those conversations, so I'm just gonna leave it here. I pray that somewhere down the line there is a reevaluation of cosmetics, because for something so crucial to the game's success, there really does seem to be a lack of effort here. Alright, thank you for listening. I will catch you on the next one. And before you go, perhaps you could maybe subscribe, please. Thank you very much. Thank you to everybody who subscribed in the past, and thank you for all the people who are going to subscribe in the future or right now. I really do appreciate it. Like and comment while you're at it. Let me know, what do you think about these ideas and what are your personal grievances with the cosmetic system? I'd love to hear about it. And since I'm almost at 1,000 subs, I would love to do an AMA, so please join my Discord and ask me anything in the Ask Lane category. I will be looking at those in a little bit once I hit the milestone, which should be pretty soon, I hope. And also, I stream live at Twitch, twitch.tv/LaneHemingway. Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays is when I am live. I'm always talking and doing discussions live. That is the majority of the content you see on my channel, at least for right now. So if you want to join in on those and talk to me about it in the moment, you can there. Okay, for real this time, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good day.